Hello, my crafty friends. Well, I've got this leather journal cover that I got at a thrift store, and it had a journal in it, and it was just a lined journal, but it had skinny little lines, and Hannah really likes those, and so I gave her the journal, but I kept this, and I'm going to make, I think it must go this way, because I think this is for to put pins in, like this. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Anyway, so it goes like that, I guess. And then you tie it. But anyway, I'm going to make me a little journal to go inside here. But it was, it's very interesting leather. It's, the inside of it is a little bit different than what I'm used to. Anyway, I was even debating for a minute if it was really leather, but it is. Anyway, something like that needs to be used. And so I'm going to use this file folder that I got at the thrift store to be the cover for my journal. And one reason is because it's got this accordion stuff in here. And I cannot tear it. I mean, I cannot. I'm really trying. So it's like trying to tie, maybe it's like a Tyvek or something. I don't know, but it does not tear. So I want to make, and then I'm going to make 2 signatures. So I'll put one in each of these sides, and then I'll have this book. So I want to make this cover. This is really sturdy, and it'll slide in here. And so that's how I'm wanting to do the cover for it. That's my thought anyway. We'll see if it works. So the cover needs to be probably 4 3/4 inches. Well, it could be. On this side, we've got almost 5 1/2 inches from the center. And this one is 5 1/4 from the center. So I guess I'll make it 5 inches. They give you a little extra room so you can slide it in. But anyway, we'll make our cover 5 inches. And then how tall is it? Because it has to be able to fit in that way too. So 5 by 7 is what I'm going to do. That'll give it plenty of extra little room to fit in there. And I don't think this will go through my paper cutter, so I'm going to have to do the old cut by hand method. And one reason I wanted to use this one is because this one is all bent, and it doesn't lay nicely, and then it's got this thing added on the edge, which makes this edge not really useful. And so that way I can take my book out of the middle, and I can use what's left over maybe to make some tags or something. So so let's put it, no, there it is. I was going to say it's not even straight. It's not exactly. It's kind of crookedy. I don't want a crookedy one. I'm going to pause a minute and see if I can find one that's straighter here, because rebending those hinges that have been bent so perfectly crooked will be hard to do. I'll be right back. Okay, this is from the same batch, but it's a little bit, it's obviously a little bit different from the other one because it doesn't have this on both sides, and this is just put on top of it rather than a piece of paper sticking out. But it is even at the back, and that's what's important for me. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is cut straight across here. I don't know where my X-Acto knife is. This is really heavy chipboard stuff, so I want to make sure that I have a clean blade. Okay. Now then, I'm going to stand up so I can see better. And we're just going to, uh-oh, it pushed it a little bit. But that end we're not going to be using anyway, so. Okay. Because we only need this much of it. Thankfully. Okay. Now I'm going to scooch this up here. Keep it straight. And we're going to go down, I think we said 7 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to try to hold it down better this time. Okay. Now then, let's make sure that'll fit. Well, let's just do one. Let's just do one because I'm only going to be putting one in the thing. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. And now we want to do it 5 inches from here. Let's start right there. And we want, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we're going to stand up. Oh dear. Well, it's not wanting to. Okay. That's definitely not perfect. Let's see if we can straighten it up a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit smaller than I said because it moved on me. There, that's better. Probably still not perfect because I rarely get anything perfect, but let's see if it'll work. Okay. That's going to work nicely. I'm going to use my chomper thing and round those corners because I think that'll make it slide in easier too. Oh, surely. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, surely that'll work. Okay, that looks good. Get that out of the way. Now we need to make papers to go inside it. So let's, okay. I just realized I still had it paused, and I do not know where I was when I paused it. So this is my cover after I cut it, and then I used the corner chomper on it. And it is a little less than 5 inches across and 7 inches tall. So I'm going to make my papers 6 3/4 by 9 1/2. And that way folded, they'll fit in here. And I'm going to make 2 signatures, and I'm going to sew one signature on this side and one signature in you know, like that, so they're both in the middle of the 2 halves of that accordion thing. Okay, so these are some papers that I picked out. They're pretty much just solid papers. Some of them are dyed. These are dyed with ink, green ink, and avocado. These are just dyed with coffee. These are avocado dyed, and these are dyed with a my passion. I think it's passion flower. It's either passion. I think it's passion flower tea. So I've got, you know, that's 4 pages for each signature. And then I've also got some of these file folders I found at the thrift store. I got a big box, probably about 40 of them for $1. And I like that paper. I think it's pretty. And so I can probably make 2 out of this. So I'll use one of those. I may end up making 2 pages for each signature out of that. I'm not sure. And then I've also got this green file folder, hanging file folder that I got at the thrift store. And I got a box of these for $1 too. So I'm going to use some of those. So I have different kinds of papers in my book. Now I don't need this anymore because I'm going to use my paper cutter to cut these. But the paper cutter wouldn't cut this. Okay. Now we want, let's see. I'm just going to do, I can do these all at once. And trying to decide which edge do I want to put in there. I like these edges that are messed up, so we're going to turn it around. No, because that would still be cutting off those edges, and that's not what I want. I had it right the first time. So we're going to make it 9 1/2. By 6 3/4. Okay, so I've got some nice scrap papers to use for something. So let's fold these and make sure that's going to work before I cut anything else. I want to use the corner chomper on these too because they're going to be, you know, the rounded edges of my book. These corners will stick out if I don't round them. Okay. I've never tried to do multiples with this, but it should work. We'll find out. We'll find out the hard way if it doesn't. Okay. Now let's stick this in here. And that works nicely. You can see there's a little bit of edge all the way around. So I'm happy with that. So we'll go ahead and cut the other pages. These are like cardstock, so I'm just going to do 2 at a time for these. I think I want a different one. That one got, no, I guess it's added too. Okay. So we're going to make this 9 1/2. By 6 3/4. And then we're going to chomp the corner. And we'll put those with these, make sure they match up. They do. All right, and then we've got these 2, which are also cardstock. Nine and a half. By 6 3/4. You're gonna get tired of hearing that before I get finished. And now I want to do this. And I'm just going to, first of all, trim the these off. And let's go ahead and do another one. Okay. Now these I'm going to I'm going to cut them 6 3/4. Put these with my scraps somewhere. There we go. Okay, and now then, to make the width, they need to be half of 9.5, which is 4 3/4. Okay. And now we will crunch these corners. Let's make sure I did that right. Yay, okay. And let's try one of these and see how. Let's trim off this part. Okay. That didn't work out quite like I planned. So let's take off a little more to make it straight. Okay. Now let's see how long this is. So if I do this at 6 3/4, see how much is left. It's not exactly a match. Is that going to bug me? Because everything else matches up. I think it probably would. So, for this one, I'm just going to take it to 6 3/4 and not worry about all the other, because I'll just use that for something else. Okay. Well, that's not the same either. See if it matches this one. Okay. Okay, what is going on here? All right. That does match. I must have done it 6.5 instead of 6 3/4 on that one. So let's see how much if I can do 6 3/4. I don't know. 6 3/4. Okay, I was able to do it. And now then I need 4 3/4. And crunch the corners. Now let's check again. Yay! Okay. All of these pieces go to the scrap pile, because you know they're going to get used sometime. Okay. Now we're going to make our 2 signatures. And that's 6 pages. That ought to be plenty. But when you put them together, they don't quite work because they're thick papers. Okay, how's that going to work in here? Let's check that out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and sew these together. But I was going to sew them directly into that. So, I may need to cut them before I sew them together because I'm sewing them in. And that really is tucked pretty tight. So, we're going to try. I've seen people do this, but I haven't actually done it myself. So, I don't know if it's going to work or not. We'll try it on one. Okay. I'm going to try to just trim right on the edge of that file folder. Take off everything that doesn't line up with it. We'll see if we can, I don't know if we can crunch through all that or not, maybe not. If I can't, I will take it and okay, it worked. That looks nice. I'm happy with that. So let's do the other one, since I know it's going to work. Oh. Okay. This one, and this one. Okay. This one's sticking out too, so we're just going to do the same thing. Just going to do the same thing. Okay. All right, now we've got 2 signatures. Let's get that out of the way so we don't hurt somebody, namely me. Okay. Now then, what I'm going to do is punch these holes, both of them at the same time, so they will match. That's my plan. And I got to find my little hole punch. Be right back. Okay, well, I couldn't find my little hole punch, so I'm going to use this one because it has a pretty small hole. And let's put this in here. So center is right here. So there's those 2 holes. And then we're going to go out to here. And to here. Okay. There we go. Now then I'm going to take this book and I'm going to center it. It's kind of hard to do with those clamps in place. But I'm going to center it in here. And I'm going to mark the okay. Now we have to decide which is the top. So we're going to make this the top. All right. Yeah. Still didn't go quite all the way through. Okay. Nope, a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Now we have to recheck where the holes are to make sure. Okay. And we're going to make this the back one because it'll be easier to put one in front of it than to put one behind it. And I didn't get any thread out. Here we go. And we're using about 3 times the length of the spine for our thread. And because I used that nice big punch, I should be able to do this without having to go get a needle. We'll see if I'm wrong. Nope, I'm going to have to go get a needle. So, wait, there we go. And then we're going to go down through this hole. And down through this hole. Like that. And then we're going to go all the way down to the bottom one. Okay, let's make sure that's held close together. And through here. And then we're going to go back up through this one. Slipped right back out. And back through this hole. Okay. Make sure everything's snug. And then we're going to tie it. And trim it. Okay. And now we will do the same thing with this one. And we're going to line this up. Where it kind of matches the top of the other signature. Okay. Now let's make sure that folds back. Okay. And we're going to punch out the holes for this one. Oh, be careful. My hand's getting tired. Okay. I think this is called a Japanese screw punch. It's really pretty ingenious little invention. All right. Just checking and checking. Almost. There we go. All right, now let's bring this back up here and check it. Yep. And get a string here. And we're going to go just like we did before, through the center, just a regular 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And then through here. Oops, that got bent. And we're going to go through this top one next. And then back out through the bottom. Okay, it slid on me just a little bit here. Well, I probably should have gotten a needle. And now we're going to go right back through that center hole. Pull it kind of tight, make sure it's snug. And then we're going to clip it. Okay. This ended up with more space at the top and less space at the bottom, but it does hold 2 signatures. And it has some room, you know, for things to expand because of this. So let's see if it fits in here. I'm not going to decorate the cover until I get through using it. But I thought I would take it on our trip, and if we find some little ephemera or something along the way, I can just glue it in here, or I could just tuck it in and glue it when I get back. It just kind of depends on how the days go and what I decide I want to do. But now I have a little journal that I can do almost anything with because the papers are really plain. So if they get covered up completely, that's fine. If they don't, they're papers I like, so I'll be glad to see them in the background if I don't cover them all the way up. And this is really much too long. Let's see. I mean, I know it'll get a little fatter, but it's not going to get that much fatter. I think I'm going to trim it. There. That bothers me a little less. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring you along on this little journey. And what is that? Oh, it's this for where you can put a pin. That's got a puffy end on it. You probably wouldn't want to stick that in there, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching me make this little journal. It can be really simple, just as long as it's papers that you like. And I like it. And then I can decorate the cover when I get finished with it. So I may be doing more of these that'll, you know, fit in here, and so I can take them with me places. Not that I go a lot of places, but but I could just take it to the park and sketch or whatever if that's what I want to do. Okay, there we go. So God bless you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.